Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey. And on this video, I'd just like to take a minute to discuss the issue of having your dog sleep on the bed. I mean, one of the things when it comes to one of the questions that is often asked is it okay for my dog to sleep on my bed? And a couple things to consider when looking at where a dog is at or what they're doing is looking at the script itself as it relates to their interactions and how they're connecting both with people, um, especially the dog owner that spends the most time with the dog. They're going to have the greatest influence on the relationship, and then what pivots off that. So, but when you're assessing, how a dog is relating or connecting to certain, situations or interactions, is the ability to test to see what script the dog is in within the context of that. And so when I talk about script, I'm referring to the follower script, whether or not the dog's decision-making process is within the follower script, or whether or not it's pushing beyond the boundary lines of that script. And so the way to test that is to bring the dog under reasonable influence with directing it under leadership, and within the context framework of testing it on, say, when the dog is on the bed, is to assess how the dog is reacting, okay, to being brought under influence once the dog is on the bed itself, and responding to other people, other situations on that, whether or not dog's being empowered or not. And so you'll probably have a sense of it right away, and you may know the answer even before watching this video. You'll know. I mean, most people know anyway. They have a clue that it's not a good interaction. The dog's up on the bed. The dog is kind of dividing. Even the dog will even lay between both people to separate. And when someone's trying to remove the dog off the bed, the dog is into a highly challenging state of mind. I mean, that's the way right away. So again, but the whole context is what's reasonable. When you bring a dog under reasonable influence, under leadership, what you look for is how the dog's decision-making process responds to that. If a dog is in the follower script, the dog will accept being directed, okay, through leadership, and will just simply go off the bed. In fact, the best scenario, if the dog truly is in the follower script, is I just say, get off the bed. The dog's just going to get off the bed, okay? The dog is up, on the bed area in a conditional state. I mean, that's how it needs to play out. And so, but when you're looking at creating relational change, you have to understand certain interactions you have to remove, you have to sever these connections once you're trying to gain traction that way, because what's happening is the dog's being fulfilled wrongly. The dog starts to want to be in certain places, and even with the owner, because they're seeking power. They're finding comfort in power. So the dog could be on the bed and appearing very calm, but they're actually being fulfilled wrongly. They're finding comfort in power. So, but again, the appearance of it is it'll offer up the same picture. It'll look cute. The dog will be up there. They'll be just seeking that out. From the cuteness level, you'll say, wow, that's cute. Oh man, that's just so nice. And you'll be up there with the dog, and you'll be touching the dog and petting the dog, and the dog's all the time being comforted, because now at the relational level, ultimately the owner, they're being empowered through the owner. They're objectifying the owner. So they're up there, and then that bed connects to that because it's a higher point. It's elevated, and the dog. So everything, the script, all the while, it's going to be. See, and this is why it's very problematic, because you have to start to sever those connections. You have to start to reverse, okay, how the dog is connecting and seeing people. And so you have to flip. Everything's going to be flipped right on its head, so to speak, relationally. Okay, you have to, instead of becoming a source of empowerment to the dog, you have to fulfill your role through nature, through leadership. And then once that starts happening, you have to start to sever these other connections as well, because at the relational level they are not healthy. It's a whole different context, but you have to test it. But ultimately, the test itself is going to be how the dog is really gaining the most fuel itself. It's usually off. It's going to be off that owner, and then everything that pivots from that, everything branches from that, is all connects relation. It all becomes contaminated as a result. But it starts right from the owner. So again, something to think about. It's not just about the bed. It's about the owner, and then it branches all off from there. But by changing, you have to focus on changing the owner, who then has to change everything else. Okay, you have to start to challenge that agenda, the dog's agenda. You have to challenge that script. Okay, the dog must be in areas within the follower script. Okay, that's ultimately the goal. So, anyway, just something to think about. Hope you have a great day.